This morning, we're going to talk a little bit about this weekend's events. Starting today, we start to see DragonCon move in full force. And then throughout the weekend, we're going to see several major events going on downtown. So we have about 6 or 7 major events, from DragonCon to Black Gay Pride, college football with Georgia Tech playing a home game. We have the classic kickoff at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And then we have other smaller events like Ludafest and Taste of Soul, all kinds of fantastic fun events around the city for the Labor Day weekend. So we started looking at this several months ago, obviously, at the crowd size and what we face public safety-wise for downtown and really for the entire city. Excuse me. So what we did was we went ahead and canceled off days for Saturday and Sunday. So we have all hands on deck both weekend days, and to make sure that we have adequate resources for all these events. We'll kick off Saturday morning with our Joint Operations Center opening up at 0700, and we'll keep that open till about midnight on Saturday night, just to make sure that we have proper coverage for all the significant events that are mostly on Saturday. But other than that, we expect several 100,000 people in the city. We expect a safe, fun weekend. We'll have both our state, local, and federal resources active all weekend to ensure that we do have a safe weekend. And then we'll also have not only uniform presence, but our undercover presence throughout the city to help out with that. Other than that, I'll be glad to open it up to any questions you have.
What is the crowd size you're expecting?
For the entire city?
For the events down here in this area.
Probably 200,000 to 300,000.
Do the events on in Jacksonville kind of change the game plan for you guys looking at this weekend, or more resources added because what we saw in Jacksonville with not a lot of people out?
Well, you know, that's not unique anymore, unfortunately. So we prepare for those well in advance. The ownership of DragonCon works closely with APD and with our state and local partner, or federal partners, to make sure that that's a safe event every year. We did do some additional resources for DragonCon, for the gaming area of DragonCon for that event. Those resources were procured by DragonCon themselves. So we feel like they have a good plan in place.
Does DragonCon present any sort of special circumstances because of all the sort of costumery and, prop weapons and things like that for police?
Well, I tell you, it's always fun to watch the football teams, fans come into their hotels and not knowing what's going on downtown, and they run into DragonCon and the parade itself, and then the costumes. But no, we have a great relationship with DragonCon. They have a fantastic security detail in place where they secure any replica weapons with piece bands and things like that to make sure they're well identified, that they're either secured or replicas. So we obviously keep an eye on that the whole weekend.
Chief, can you say this weekend is a good dress rehearsal for Super Bowl that will be coming up next year?
Absolutely. This is not unique. We have this every Labor Day. All of these events that we've talked about were here last year. So we're looking forward to another exciting weekend.
Any new technology to be used?
We do. Nothing that I can speak publicly about. But we do have over 10,000 cameras in our video integration center that will be active all weekend, especially in the downtown space. So we definitely will be utilizing those.
Will any streets be shut down? Any guidance for traffic?
MARTA. Please use MARTA rideshare. There'll be a lot of pedestrian foot traffic downtown. And early mornings, Saturday, we will have a street closure for the parade. The DragonCon parade will run from Peachtree and north, south on Peachtree to Andrew Young, and then it'll go the wrong way on Andrew Young to Peachtree Center, and then back up north on Peachtree Center, and it'll stop between the hotels. So that morning, being about 7 or 7:30, there'll be some road closures for the parade, and then in the process of that, we'll start to see the ingress of the Georgia Tech football game in that same space. So there'll be a very congested time, probably from 8 to 10, 10:30 around North Avenue and Peachtree in that area, just because of the football game and the parade going on at the same time. Once the parade is over, there won't be any more street closures.
Now you said you guys have been here, done this, last Labor Day with all the games and stuff. Is there anything you guys took away from last year that you're going to carry over
We always learn each time we have big events. So one of the things we're working on this weekend that we didn't before, we have more of a footbeat presence downtown. So the pedestrian traffic is so heavy and congested, we want to make sure that we have the resources on the ground to make sure they can react to anything that we need downtown instead of in vehicles.
And the number amount do you have?
For police officers? Well, we have a full, the entire department is on duty Saturday and Sunday.
Which is numbers, do you have numbers for that, roughly?
A lot.
If there is a large crowd and something happens where people are scared, what should people do?
Well, obviously we want everyone to contact APD through 911 or through 311 if they see something suspicious or they feel uncomfortable about something that they see. So we rely on the public heavily in these type of events because it is so condensed and so crowded. So we want the public to know that we want to hear from them. But in the case there is an emergency, obviously we'll communicate with them on what we need for them to do, just depending on what the situation is.
You know, we talk about this all the time about crimes of opportunity that people kind of leave themselves open to. What should people keep in mind this weekend as they're parking their cars, walking around?
Sure.
What are some points they should know?
Yeah, absolutely. Please, clean car campaign. We want everybody, if they do drive into the city, to make sure you don't leave any valuables in your car. And then, of course, backpacks, laptops, cell phones, whatever you want to leave, bring with you. Please don't leave it laying around. As comfortable as you might be at one of the local coffee shops or restaurants, there are a lot of people out, so we want you to make sure you go home with what you brought. Please leave your guns at home. Don't leave them in the cars. We have a significant problem sometimes with people leaving their weapons in their cars and being stolen, so we don't want that to happen either. So please leave your weapons at home.
With a lot of foot traffic, with people coming into the city using public transit like MARTA, will MARTA step up their patrols as well? I know a couple weeks ago we had an incident where a woman was pushed onto the tracks. So will MARTA step their patrols?
Absolutely. They have extended hours also.
Okay.